What happens when Hollywood royalty meets late-night arrogance and the cameras are rolling? You won't believe what unfolds when Robert De Niro sits down with Stephen Colbert and discovers that respect is apparently optional. Before we get into this incredible story, make sure you hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below, because you're not going to believe what unfolds. Last night's episode of The Late Show started like any other, but within minutes, the atmosphere in the studio turned ice cold. De Niro, promoting his latest project, walked onto the set with his usual quiet confidence, expecting the kind of professional exchange befitting a legendary actor with over 5 decades in the business. What he got instead was something entirely different. From the moment De Niro settled into his chair, Colbert's demeanor was off. The host barely made eye contact during the initial pleasantries, shuffling through his cards with an air of dismissive impatience. When De Niro began discussing his passion project about Veterans Affairs, Colbert interrupted him mid-sentence. "Yeah, that's great, Bob. But let's talk about what people really want to hear," Colbert said with a smirk that didn't reach his eyes. "Your famous temper. The on-set explosions. Come on, give us the real story." The legendary actor's jaw visibly tightened. "I'm here to talk about important work, Stephen. Work that matters to people who've served this country." "Oh, please," Colbert scoffed, leaning back in his chair. "You think anyone tuned in to hear about your charity work? They want the dirt, the drama. That's what sells." The tension in the room was palpable as De Niro stared at his host, clearly struggling to maintain his composure. The audience sensed something was wrong, their usual laughter replaced by an uncomfortable silence. What happened next would push this exchange past the point of no return, setting the stage for an explosive confrontation that would have the entire studio holding their breath. Colbert, seemingly oblivious to the growing hostility, doubled down on his attack. "Come on, Bobby. Don't get all sensitive on me. We both know you've had your moments. Travis Bickle wasn't just acting, was it?" The host's voice carried a mocking tone that cut through the studio like a knife. De Niro's famous composure finally cracked. His voice dropped to that menacing whisper that had terrified audiences for decades. "You want to talk about moments? Let's talk about your moment right now, pal. You're disrespecting not just me, but every veteran I'm trying to help." "Oh, here we go." Colbert rolled his eyes theatrically for the cameras. "The righteous actor speech. Save it for your acceptance speech, Bob. This is entertainment." The legendary actor leaned forward, his eyes blazing with fury. "Entertainment? You think making a mockery of serious issues is entertainment? You're sitting there in your fancy suit, making jokes while real people are suffering." Colbert's smug expression never wavered. "That's literally my job, genius. I make jokes. People laugh. They forget their problems for an hour. What do? Pretend to be tough guys in movies?" The insult hung in the air like a toxic cloud. De Niro's hands gripped the arms of his chair so tightly, his knuckles went white. The audience sat in stunned silence, witnessing something they'd never seen before on late-night television. But this was just the beginning of what would become an all-out war of words that would leave both men's reputations hanging in the balance. What happened next sent shockwaves through the studio. De Niro stood up abruptly, his chair scraping against the floor with a harsh screech that echoed through the silent room. His voice, when it came, was pure venom. "You know what, Stephen? I've worked with real professionals my entire career, directors who understood respect, actors who knew their craft. But you?" He pointed directly at Colbert's face. "You're just another hack hiding behind a desk, thinking you're untouchable because you've got a network backing you up." Colbert's smugness finally began to crack. "Sit down, Bob. You're embarrassing yourself." "Embarrassing myself?" De Niro's laugh was cold and bitter. "The only embarrassment here is you. 40 years I've been in this business, and I've never met someone so completely lacking in basic human decency." The host tried to regain control, gesturing frantically to his producers off camera, We're going to take a quick break. No breaks! De Niro's voice boomed across the studio. You wanted the real Robert De Niro? Here he is. You're a disgrace to television, to journalism, and to anyone who's ever tried to make a difference in this world. With that, the legendary actor ripped off his microphone, threw it onto Colbert's desk, and stormed off the set. The audience erupted in chaos, some cheering, others gasping in disbelief. Colbert sat frozen, his face pale, as the reality of what had just happened sank in. The cameras kept rolling, capturing every second of his humiliation as security scrambled to restore order in what had become the most explosive late-night television moment in history.